Picture this. You walk into the hospital to see your newborn son, heart pounding with joy, only to be kicked out by security? Everyone, your partner, your friends, even your own mother, suddenly turns their back on you. Why? Because your ex just orchestrated the most soul-destroying revenge you could ever imagine. You're about to hear how one broken relationship shattered everything I held dear, and how a single lie ruined my life. If you've ever felt powerless, betrayed, or desperate for justice, this story is for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up. What you're about to hear is a masterclass in revenge, one you'll never forget. Detailed setup. I want you to imagine the kind of pain that sticks with you even after you've confessed your sins. My name's not important, but my story is. Last year, my 8-year-long relationship with Annie imploded. I did the unthinkable. I cheated with a colleague named Jess. No excuses. It cost me more than I can ever tally. My job, almost all of my friends, and the love of the best woman I'd ever known. But Annie didn't shout. She didn't cry. She didn't even confront me. One cold morning, she dropped off every scrap of my belongings at my parents' doorstep, like she'd never existed in my life. No warning, no goodbye. Just silence. I broke down, sent desperate texts to every mutual friend, pleaded for Annie to talk to me. Hundreds of messages, apologies, confessions, all met with the same stony silence. Jess saw the messages. She saw them all, and trust was like shattered glass at our feet. Somehow, Jess got pregnant almost immediately. We made a truce. For our child, for our future, we would put the past behind us. But the past refuses to stay buried. Fast forward to a month ago. Jess is due any day. I spotted Annie at a shop, the first time since everything collapsed. My stomach dropped through the floor. Annie barely looked at me. She only spoke about a keychain my granddad gave me as a child, the last sentimental thing I'd left behind. She said, "Cold as frost, Saturday morning, or it's in the trash." That was 6 days after our son's due date. I told Annie I might not be able to make it. Her face didn't move. Saturday or nothing. Our son arrived late, perfect, healthy, precious, less than 24 hours old when, twisting in guilt and loyalty, I decided to fetch the keychain. I couldn't bear the thought of losing that piece of my childhood. At the house, Annie invited me in. The walls, once filled with laughter, felt like an icebox. Annie sat across from me and asked if we could talk about the end. My hands trembled. I stuttered through apologies. She let me finally say what I needed to say. Her words were quiet, measured, but cutting. She wished me luck, hugged me goodbye. For a moment, relief surged. A weight I'd carried was finally set down. I held on as if I could squeeze the last 8 years into a single hug. But it was closure, not regret. Or so I believed. I didn't tell Annie about seeing Annie that morning. She'd always felt threatened by my past, and I couldn't risk hurting her now, not on the first day of our son's life. Then the nightmare began. I arrived at the hospital to visit Jess and our newborn, sleep-deprived but elated. The nurse wouldn't let me in. Jess had revoked my visitation. Anger and confusion slammed through me. The security guard arrived, and as I was escorted out, cold air biting my skin, I realized something was crushing me that went beyond relationship drama. My calls went unanswered for hours. I dialed Jess, her mom, anyone who might know what was happening. The only thing I got was a screen recording. I watched in disbelief as Annie sent Jess doorbell footage of me at her house, the timestamp blaring 9:30 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. It caught just a fragment of our hug, but spun as evidence of cheating. Annie's message twisted like a dagger. Did he even shower and change his clothes between fucking me and holding his son? Congratulations on being stuck with him for the next 18 years. I hope it's everything you dreamed of. My heart slammed through my ribs. No one believed it was a setup. No one doubted Annie's story. Not Jess, not her family, not my friends, not my own mother. The world once filled with people I loved shrank to a hostile void. Every attempt to clear my name was stonewalled. I sent Annie one plaintive message. "Why did you do this?" She fired back, "You don't get to play victim. Goodbye." Then another block. There were no messages. There was just Annie's silence, holding me hostage. For almost a year, she waited, silent, calculating. Her revenge wasn't a loud spectacle. It was an artfully quiet destruction. Loneliness suffocated me. Nights blurred into each other, every tick of the clock a memory of what I'd lost. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying every second of that morning with Annie. The look in her eyes, the cold finality of her voice, the way my body recoiled when the realization hit. My mind shouted, "They'll see the truth! Someone has to believe me!" But each call from my mother was another wound. Her only question pierced deeper than Annie's revenge. Why did you ruin your life when Annie was willing to forgive you? The few friends clinging to me were suspicious, distant. All I could do was wait, for a court date, for Jess to answer a single call, for anyone to believe me. Every conversation became a battlefield. Jess's voice on the voicemail, icy, cracked. "Don't bother trying to see your son. I know what you did." My message to Annie, typed, deleted, typed again, finally sent. "Why, Annie? Why? This?" Her reply, "You don't get to play victim. Goodbye." There was nothing left to say.